Welcome to part 4 of our mini-series doing analysis in English. Today we would like to discuss how to establish a solid thesis. Before we delve into this, a quick recap of the last session. In the Abitur you will most likely meet one of these texts. Now use this chart to your benefit. If the text you're working on scores high on stylistic devices, it is more likely that your thesis will focus on the mood/tone/atmosphere of this text. So, usually we would expect a short story, a novel, an essay or an op-ed to try to create some specific emotion in the reader. The texts in the lower half of the chart, however, are the ones where information or argumentation has to trump language. Thus, we can quite safely assume that they will try to convince the audience of some state of the world. Also remember that in the Abitur you have to write an analysis, that is, an argumentation. Therefore, it is highly recommended that you follow a standard approach where every paragraph discusses one major thought. Each paragraph should have a topic sentence that gives the gist of the argument. Then you will try to explain your reasoning in detail and will prove every aspect by closely referring to the text. Following this approach, your topic sentence basically is your conclusion. Pragmatically speaking, it is much better for your audience if they know the conclusion, that is the main idea of this paragraph, right from the start. This allows your readers to reconstruct your argument more easily and helps them see what the arguments improve or good for. Thus, we put the conclusion right at the start. Well-written articles and research papers follow the same approach. Now, you can think of your analysis in just the same way. You will have a number of arguments, that is paragraphs, that each make a point. Your umbrella sentence is the glue that makes them stick together and form a coherent argumentation. The umbrella sentence has to do the very same job that each topic sentence does for the paragraph. It gives a compressed version of your argumentation. It thus allows your readers to read each paragraph in this context and helps your audience to better understand the overall point you want to make. Let us throw in a few more images to help you grasp this absolutely central function of the thesis. Your thesis is your conclusion in a nutshell. As such, it is the lighthouse that illuminates why each paragraph is there. It also is the anchor that each reader can grasp if he or she gets lost in your argumentation. The thesis will always tell your audience where you want to go. So, if you have to be your reader's guide, it is no use if you just mirror the text by retelling what is going on in the text or by repeating the arguments the text makes. Likewise, your audience would not benefit from your analysis if you created a textual jungle by listing each and every stylistic device deployed in the text or by picking on every little deviation. Rather, think of yourself as a chef. Your readers want to eat a dish, not have everything that grows in the field. Your job is to carefully select what is relevant, cook the dish, that is, create an insight, and serve that to your guests by presenting them a fair and precise argumentation. A good starting point is the graph we had in the introduction. Keep in mind what the specific requirements for this type of text are. Check the text at hand against these expectations. Does it conform to the norm? Where does it shine? That is, in which aspects does this particular text meet the norms especially well? Where does it deviate? These are helpful questions, as in the Abitur you will most likely encounter texts that are typical of their type. Therefore, you can usually base your analysis on this assumption. It also helps you to pick the arguments you need. You should either go for the devices that are typical of this text, that is, that are used most often in this text. Alternatively, pick devices that are very impactful, that is, devices that may occur less often, but that heavily influence the audience. And there you have your thesis. This text does X by deploying devices 1, 2 and 3. By now, it should also have become clear that you can only compose your thesis statement or your topic sentences after you have closely read the text and selected the relevant devices. Spend your time and effort wisely. Establish expectations, study the text, select the devices, structure your arguments, and then, that is at the very end of the process, write the thesis and topic sentences. See you next time.